Welcome to the Smash Masters podcast, hosted by Stefan Eschi and Nick Priest. This is where we dig into the auto body collision repair field and talk quality repair methods and how the industry is always changing. Buckle up. It gonna get bumpy. Yeah, buckle up.
What's up?
What's up, everyone?
Alex is in here.
Alex is first.
He is first. He's on it.
That was
love
good.
Alex, don't we? Alex is awesome.
Yeah. He's always in here. I really
he's
appreciate
already
it.
buckled, man. He's ready. He said he's buckled.
He's buckled and ready. Yep. No, that's
Shit.
good.
Yeah.
Nice. What's up, Nick?
Oh man. Speaking of industry changing and buckling up, it's gonna get bumpy. We had a heck of a week, did we not? What's up, Eldar?
I had a hell of a week, and Eldar was there.
Eldar was on it. He's the man.
We'll see who else pops in. And Appointment TV. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Already got some people rolling in here. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Welcome in, everybody who's joining up.
We got an interesting show tonight. We're going to talk about last week. We were in Oklahoma.
OKC.
And doing some glue pulling training, but more than just glue pulling is the GPR Plus program from KECO, which is a 5-day training course to teach dent fixing techniques for the body shop. And these techniques, you know, if you go and you practice them enough, maybe you turn yourself into a paintless dent repair technician.
Yeah, it's designed to put the push tools in your hand and get you used to that.
Hey, there's another guy who is there.
Darren, what's up, buddy?
What's up? It was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So yeah, I mean, it's teaching PDR techniques, but don't get caught up in that. It's a body shop class, and it was super useful. I mean, you and I went in knowing quite a bit. Hey, there's David. Saw him on TikTok earlier.
Yeah.
And I learned things.
Oh, there's always something to take away and to learn. I mean, yeah, just because we had push tools and we've been glue pulling doesn't mean we didn't learn anything. The class is it's a really well put together class. So, I mean, what more can you say to that? It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially watching the guys that didn't know how to, never touched glue, never touched a push tool before. So, I mean, we've had push tools, we've used them, but I mean, the amount of stuff they learned in they were like knocking it out in 3 days.
Yeah, by the fourth and fifth day, they were doing some glass work. I mean, small dents, but that's where you start. I mean,
really how confident do you
stuff.
have to be to bring your own vehicle in and be like,
yeah, who did that?
Danny
did. Danny Hacker brought it, and they brought in another customer vehicle too, and put one of the inexperienced guys on it, and just said, "Hey, go fix some dents."
Yeah, and I believe the guy in the chat, this guy right here, Darren. Yeah, he was knocking it out. He was on it. He was doing some stuff.
Yeah. He was really impressive. You were impressive, Nick. I don't think I'd ever really worked next to you before. We've always been states away. So I'm sitting there, and Danny gives us a whole bunch of dents on day 2. And I think I was like on my 3rd one, and you were just sitting there on your phone. I'm like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm done.
well, that's what happens when you repeat the process, over and over and over. You'll get to that point. And these guys that were brand new to this, they were learning. They gave great instruction on how to go from 0 to a dent hero. And dude, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
and they'll be there if they keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, absolutely. I mean, it just takes time. I mean,
mhm.
it takes that metal time, and that's what Gene Fetty. I'm going to steal it from him. It takes that metal time. You got to put in the metal time, push on it, and pull on it, and knock it down, and see what happens, and learn from your failures, and move on. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna bring this back up. Like Alex says, there's always something to learn. Now, yeah, just because, um, you know, just because I had push tool experience and glue pulling experience doesn't mean I didn't take away from that. Because, I had a chance to, maybe go see how Eldar was doing, or you guys, and I would look at it myself and think, wow, step back and watch them, and I could just, instead of getting the first person point of view like we get, I stepped back and got that third person point of view, like to see what's going on, and that was really cool too.
and you were actually Eldar told me you were very helpful with him with reading the light, um, and there's a little bit of a language barrier thing there too, So for someone like that to come in and just knock stuff out of the park, very cool. I have to agree, Nick. Your audio all of a sudden got a little bit muffled. Maybe move the
Did it?
microphone a little closer to you. Yeah, I
Did it
think
really?
it's better. I think you're
Is
just
it
a little.
better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said that.
yeah.
Stefan would have never let me know that here.
I was about to. Jeez.
Jason X. Yes, that week was
I'm
super
sorry.
cool.
I shut it off.
That's okay.
There,
That's all right. We'll trade them. We'll trade them.
dude.
Good,
Jason,
Janelle. Thank you.
it was super fun. I mean, it made it even better that we had like five,
See if I
six
can
of
turn
us
this
that
up
knew
some.
each other. Most of us stayed in Airbnb together, so we just it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
So I mean, let's bring in our guest here. He's a KECO trainer. He was a collision tech for many years, and he was there in Oklahoma. And I don't know where he is now. Where are you?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on?
I'm in Colorado Springs right now.
Okay,
Colorado Springs.
for a
Nice.
KECO training.
Yeah. I mean, I'm usually somewhere different every week, so you'll never know where I am. Sometimes Scott has to text me and be like, "So where are you right now? When you coming back?"
Hard guy to pin down, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you were right before the training. You were up in Connecticut. We went and grabbed pizza down in New Haven.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. I
Shoot,
felt
and then
I felt
even
I felt kind of
Oh, go ahead.
special. The KECO trainer comes to town. He calls me.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean, we'd met once before.
Yeah,
We've
that's
talked
true.
quite a bit since we met at SEMA. So
Yep.
I don't know if I'm somewhere and one of my internet friends is around. I'm gonna try to meet up at least for a little bit.
Yep. Yep.
It's one
Got
of
to
the
when you're all over the place, huh?
Hey, there's Hayden.
Yeah, and even, from my last job, I mean, I've met people all over the country doing body work just from the Facebook groups, really. Like we all banter back and forth, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of
It's
weird how the world works now. Like I have a ton of internet friends.
Yeah, that's got to be like a really big positive. I mean, getting to travel every day. I mean, you may not get to sleep in your bed at night, every night, but I mean, going here and going there and seeing how people respond to the L2E systems and stuff, it's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the most rewarding part of it, especially when you go into one and they're super green and they have some really good work to work on.
Yeah.
They got a rocker crushed in, especially if we can get on the frame rack, man. I'm trying to get on the frame rack every time.
Uh-huh.
Because that's when that's the coolest part about it is you can pull bigger smashes out and not compromise the backside.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I did almost all my frame pulling with glue tabs. After a certain point, I just, I was like, I'm not using hooks anymore. I'm not using. I mean, if there's a pinch weld, I might have used a clamp. But if I gotta grab a body panel, I grab the body panel with a glue tab. Hey, Brandon, what's up? But yeah, speaking on your point of the internet friends, I mean, nobody really knows that better than us. I mean, that's how
man.
Nick and I met.
Dude.
So.
And in the list of new friends that we add on is what every day it keeps growing. And people all over the world too. I mean, we're not traveling, but getting to do this and talking to people, networking. I mean, these last two guys that just popped in, you
There's
know,
another internet friend right there,
yeah,
Daniel Kraus.
Yeah.
Yep. Which we met at MTE in person, but I mean, we knew online before then.
hmm
And yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody who was at the training this last week. I mean, I felt like I know all of them very well, and most of them I had met once or not at all,
Right.
and we're all staying in the same house. I felt comfortable enough to do that, and
Right.
something strange about today's world. It's
Wow.
amazing what a
Shoot,
social
even
media account will do.
It
right.
is.
I mean, it's the same for me and Danny. Me and Danny knew each other online. We actually met in person at a KECO training with Gene Fetty in 2020.
Oh, okay.
And then we, both went back to our shops, and then over time we both meet back at KECO somehow.
It's funny how that
In
works,
fact,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what happened. I was in between jobs, and I wasn't working for a couple months. I was kind of just doing stuff out of my garage. Uh, Danny just posted real quick looking for a KECO trainer, and I called him.
Nice.
And then he was like, "You got to move here," and I was like, "I can't do that." And then it just festered in my mind. I was like, I kind of really want to do that.
I kind of can do that.
Yeah, it's something different because I've just worked in shops since I was like 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
That's all I've done. I mean,
So,
I've done other
Brandon.
things during it. I mean, I had multiple jobs in the beginning because we don't make any money at first.
You
So,
got to move around a little bit
Yeah.
when you're starting. At least you used to have to. I don't know. I haven't started in 15 years. So 15 years ago, you had to jump around a little bit to get those raises that you wanted and to get the move up. And, if you make yourself too valuable in one area of the shop, unfortunately, a lot of times they keep you in that area. And if that's an entry level
Yeah.
area, you just screwed yourself, so you got to move around a little bit. So,
I mean, that's what happened with me. I got really good at putting cars together. It was like the first department I was in. We had like a disassembly team and an assembly team, and me and the other guy there, we'd been friends for years, but he was like looking for another guy. I went and worked there, and we just made a good team. But we were putting cars together so fast, like we could get a whole quarter panel rear body job out from the paint booth on Friday at noon, and we would throw that thing together. Do all our inspections, check it, and it'd be good to go. So yeah, that was one of those instances they kind of don't want to let you move because it's
Right.
helping so much.
right.
What'd you do with all the missing bolts? You just kind of hit them, or what'd you do with those?
Those are shoulder bolts.
Yeah,
I know.
those-
Extras. They're extras.
No, when you're younger, starting out, maybe a little green, you might have a couple extra bolts and be like, "Oh, I don't know where these go."
let me
But,
talk
I
to
mean,
a
the
guy
last-
who might.
And you have those guys that can literally throw all the bolts in a bucket, and there's no bolts left after they're done. I
Yeah.
always had to organize them like crazy.
It makes it a lot easier for sure. I mean, so my when I started out, they kept me in detail buffing a little bit too long for my liking. So I magically lost the ability to not burn paint. So as soon as you burn
these
paint a
rotary
few
buffs-
times, they move you out of the detail bay into
Yeah,
something else.
It's this dang rotary buffer, man.
Reassembly techs.
Yeah, it's not. I just can't do this anymore. You better put me in teardown or something. So, hey, it worked. I didn't lose my job.
I mean, I got you somewhere
so-
else. I moved around all the time, but I just wanted to know how to do everything. I didn't want to just be a body guy. So I painted.
Exactly.
I did bodywork, framework, all the R&I. I wrote repair plans for a little while, just filling in here and there whenever they needed it, and even managing a little bit.
Nice.
I like cars, man. I just want to know how to do everything. I mean, I do all my own mechanical work at home. I mean, you guys came by, you see my piles of junk out there.
Junk.
Bunch of different colors.
He's got a nice setup in his garage. All the tools hung up on pegboard and everything, and nice KECO cart. And, you got a nice setup in that garage. I'm a little jealous.
Well, I mean, every I got to bring all my tools home now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to put them somewhere. I didn't want to buy a big box. I mean, you guys saw I don't have a giant toolbox. I don't I never felt like I needed
me
one.
either.
So it was like a pegboard it is.
I definitely have a big box. Never worked in a shop that had a department for tear down and reassemble. As a tech, I had to do all of that, still do, and I don't know how I feel about having others. So I'll speak on that because I actually just started in a new shop about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they do have an RP department, repair planning department, which is the same thing as a disassembly. And they do a really good job at organizing everything. So honestly, it's kind of nice getting a job ready to be repaired because that's the part of the job I like the most. And everybody's different. And maybe I'll find after a while that I miss the disassembly part because I used to really enjoy doing a nice tear down and making a nice detailed list and organizing everything because I was good at it. But I will say I got a little burnt out by it. So I think I'm enjoying where I am right now. Reassembling something that somebody else took apart is definitely a challenge, but when you have a good disassembly person that bags everything, gives you a million bags and they're all labeled, it's kind of hard to mess that up as the reassemble person. And it's almost a little nice that if there's a problem, it wasn't my fault. You know, I mean, I don't want problems. I want the car to leave. It makes it's better for all of us. Yeah. And in general, my experience can get through those problems and solve them. And that's where that experience comes in. But pros and cons to both, just like Daniel said. What's up, Joshua?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Going back to Alex's comment right here, I know, Mike, you have a home setup, and he says he's still working and organizing, but I didn't know you actually finished the home organization. I thought it was always like a revolving thing. Is that true?
It's kind of like a car project.
Yeah, you just keep adding to it, right?
Yeah,
and you find something new, and you're like, I got to move everything and put this here.
You know how many times I've taken all the tools off the pegboard, and I'm like, I can do this better.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm talking about.
I can organize these
right there.
Like,
I did that on the KECO pegboard at least 12 times.
Yeah.
See, Alex, you're not alone. It really don't look for the end game in the home organization because it's probably not going to happen. Be honest with you.
Yeah, you never.
I put a TV in my garage, and I might put a lawn chair out while I'm working on something, and then all of a sudden I'm just watching TV, hanging out in my garage.
Yep. I'll catch myself and leaning against the hood, just watching. I should just go in and sit on the couch.
Yeah, might as well not be out here in the weather, in the heat, especially right now. It's hot.
Yeah, what's it like down there?
I'd agree with
Oklahoma. It was like 101 yesterday and almost 100 today, and it's kind of like that, you know. And that's what the forecast said for like the next 7 days.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a little early, honestly, for that kind of heat right now.
I have to agree.
It's nasty here right now, too. So
yeah, I mean, you're just east of us, basically, and a little more south. So
yeah,
here and a little hotter.
Our high was 72 today.
I'm jealous.
You should be. It was a great day.
I mean, I'm in Colorado Springs. It's only like 78 degrees right now, so I
bet it's nice there.
I mean, it was 100 degrees last week, but I was in Oklahoma for it. So, and I mean here in Connecticut.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, I had to break out the tab weld and the vortex cooler while I was training up there, just to help things go. You know, it was hot and humid.
Yep.
Yeah, that thing's pretty cool too, and that would be a benefit, especially where I live right now.
I'm sure. Yeah,
just
the vortex cooler. We should have them on the site here really soon.
Yeah,
that was a cool tool. I actually seeing it in video, I was like, "The heck is that? A fancy blowgun? I got blowguns, you know." So, but seeing it in person, I was like, "Oh damn! I'm gonna put one of these in my car. It's my new AC."
That's pretty sweet.
Get a mobile compressor, just get an air ride set up, but don't put air ride on it.
I mean, when I'm out there pushing dents in the sun, I put that thing on me, cool myself off.
That is the nice thing. Yeah, it was hot in Denver when I flew in. It was it was in the mid 90s. It's weird how I'm only 50 minutes south, so it's weird how it's so much cooler here. But the elevation is much higher.
I do want to hit on back on this teardown thing.
Mhm.
David, I do agree with you. Seeing the initial car before it's torn down does give you a better idea of what's going on. I mean, I literally have to dissect the estimate and look at all the parts and kind of, mentally put it together. But at the same time, it's not my responsibility in my shop to find all the damage. It's the repair planning. If I find something that's not listed, obviously it's my responsibility to say so. But anyway, it's just a different setup. And I will tell you, the shop that I'm in, and not just for the repair planning, but for other reasons too, they're getting stuff out the door super fast. I mean, less cars in the shop at a time, and the days to repair are just super low, really low. And that's impressive.
Going by nice and smooth, then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally liked just getting the body work, and I only had to do body work. I haven't probably
I'm
just
liking it.
reassembled a car, but every once in a while, the past 5 or 6 years that I was in a shop, because it would get torn down. I would go over it with the guy who tore it down usually, and make sure we got pictures of all the broken stuff, because that's the worst when you go to repair it. It's like a quarter job, and he didn't notice that the bumper bracket, it has a couple tabs broken or something. But yeah, I like just going straight into the body work. Makes you feel like you're just knocking rear bodies, bedsides, quarter panels out back to back to back.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I've been the quarter panel saver lately.
Oh, really?
This one's on
Saving
back order.
quarter panels,
Can you fix it? Yeah, I can fix that.
Yeah, I need a couple hours to attempt, and then we'll
That's
go for it
crazy,
after that.
Jared.
Yeah, no,
I bet humidity made it worse.
only finishing, no attempting, only finishing.
It's hot everywhere, isn't it?
117.
I feel like it's abnormally hot in most of the country right now.
Yeah, it's nasty. Alex said he put a TV in his garage, so he's got YouTube instructions. But I noticed you had one up too, so you're getting certified in YouTube mechanic wizardry, huh?
Man, dude, that's how I learned to do everything at first. My first car, 85 Mustang, head gaskets blew. I didn't really have a lot of money, so I just started ripping it apart. I knew where the head gaskets were. I had no idea how to take a cylinder head apart. I had a little Stanley box of tools. I started taking the head apart, and I pop a cam spring off because I'm just taking bolts out, trying to take this head off. And then I ended up with a family friend letting me bring it to his shop, and then he helped swap a 5.0 motor into it out of a wrecked Mustang. So that was like my first experience at 16, like wrenching on a car.
All right.
I was always into cars. I remember going to see Fast and Furious 1 in the theater, and that was like, after that, I was like, cars are so cool. But I like the muscle cars a little more. And then I've played with both. We've talked about it. Like, I've had a few Hondas, some Integras, and I kind of just like cars.
Yeah.
Whatever's fun to drive. I really don't care what it is. It's like asking if you like solder or Iwata. If it sprays good, man.
Yep.
I think everybody in here is car guys or girls. Man, I bet everybody in here has got a pretty cool story of how they got into it.
It's like my oldest brother was really into cars too, so that's who brought me to see the movie. Really
nice.
Yeah, he's 7 years older than me.
I didn't have anyone like that.
You didn't have anyone like that?
No, I did it all on my own. I said I like cars. And everyone's saying, well, you got to go to college. And I'm like, So I went to college, got kicked out pretty quick. I came home and I said, I like cars. And, okay, well, here's trade school. So I graduated with honors. So that's my story. I mean, it's really that simple. And then I got into the workforce, and I found out that trade school didn't teach me anything. So
it's wild, isn't it?
It's insane.
That's crazy.
So I got in with that family friend that helped me with that, and I just started working. He gave me a job and had me just learning how to do stuff to old. He liked old 60s and 70s hot rods and muscle cars, and kind of just taught me how to do a few things. And then I got a job at another shop doing restorations, and then I was like, man, I need to make more money. So then I went to school for collision, and I should have found a job at a shop.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did pick up a lot at school. Like I did get a lot from school, but it was
Okay.
like, I've taken guys. It's just quicker if you go into a shop
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you're just thrown into the deep end, like, and that's still what happened when I got into a shop after I was tired of disassembling. It was like, all right, you're going on the chief and doing heavy hits. So I did heavy hits before I did like quarter panels.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like,
damn. That's a bit of a
they
flop.
sprinkled some in the mix of it, but I think my owner just needed a heavy hit guy, so he just threw me in the deep end. And if you give me a challenge, I'll figure it out. Especially with the internet nowadays. I mean, if I need to do something to my Mercedes or my Tahoe, I just look it up.
Right.
Like the only times I'll like take my car and I'm not gonna open up a transmission, especially an automatic. I'm not that smart. Like I'll change the
Yeah.
fluid.
That takes some know-how
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I'll do like a cam swap or stuff like that, but usually I'll just, if anything internal, I'll send out.
Went straight to the shop. So you were smart. We didn't. Mike and I didn't do that. I do try and tell people. Mine are paid off. I do tell people when they ask me if trade school is worth it. I say, if you've got no other way of getting into the industry, sure, it's worth it. But now we've got calibers everywhere. And most of them have apprenticeship programs. You can get paid to learn. It's a great stepping stone. And if you find a good caliber, you could stay there. If you don't like where you are, you could, after you learn some stuff, you move on. It's just that's the route I wish I took. So
Caliber will even transfer you around to different stores if you're like, hey, I want
Yeah,
a
they will.
different store.
yeah,
The apprenticeship program it's nice because it can take techs that are completely green, never even wrenched, all the way to where they're getting reps on doing rear bodies, bedsides, things like that. I've done a lot. I've done a few of those programs. I've done a lot of calibers, and even they have another program. I can't think of what it's called, but it's all veterans when they get done with their deployments and their contracts. Caliber has a program where they can come in and the Army will pay for
the
training
TAP
there, and they'll
TAP program, I think it's
Well,
called.
it's actually it's TAP is one thing, but the veteran one is a completely different one. The name of it, I can't remember.
I
It's
can't
really cool to
remember
go
the
there.
name of it either. I know what you're talking about though, but
Yeah, it was
TAP.
in Raleigh, North Carolina,
Okay.
north or south, wherever Raleigh is. I think it's north.
No, that's
All right.
great. That's absolutely great. I mean, we should absolutely be supporting those who put their lives on the line for the country. So I mean, and this is a very rewarding trade, and it's a good one, I feel, to get into if you're into good morning. It
Good
might
morning.
be morning for you, Krishna, not for
Yeah.
us.
It's afternoon here.
But glad to have you here. Thank
Glad
you.
to have you in, man.
Service King at an apprenticeship program, and that's how you got in. Okay, nice, very nice.
I mean, we kind of need that kind of stuff these days, just to get kids in the door. Everyone needs help right now. Is the wild. Every shop I go to, they're like, "Man, I could use a couple more guys. I could use a few more guys." Like everyone's looking for decent techs.
I hear the same thing every shop I go into now. Asking, hey, you know anybody? Can you send somebody over this way? And it's just local around my area. I know you got to know somebody. No, I mean, I'll see.
So
But it's hard if you keep a good tech happy, he's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, right.
right.
Like,
Right.
why would he?
I mean, it really is a big problem. I actually had, I think, there was a manager of a shop here who almost melted down on me. I was looking around, pull from other trades. Yeah, I was looking around for a new position, and I had one lined up, and I decided to go with a second one. So I called the first one and let him know, hey, I'm not gonna come. I'm sorry. Good luck for finding somebody. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I had you. It's like, I'm like, that's not the response I expected. I'm like, I wish you luck finding someone. I had someone. It was you. Do you know anybody else? And I'm like, No, I just couldn't believe the response. But
Oh wow,
it shows how desperate they are. And
Yeah.
I love
it
those.
yeah, I mean I'm honored that somebody would freak out from losing me, but it's like yeah, you need to just keep looking. You'll find someone. They're out there. We're few and far
They're
between.
there.
But put a
Just,
good pay program out there, and you'll find one. So
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
kind of did the same thing. I did kind of do the same thing at KECO. I'd taken a job at another shop. I already went in, did paperwork and everything. And then the KECO thing popped up, and I had to tell them I'm gonna try this other thing.
yeah,
And
oh
he
yeah.
tried to talk me out of it. He was like, "You're not gonna like it." I tried to do that for another company, traveling and training. He was like, "I hated it." And I was like, "Well, let me find out for myself."
yeah.
And
That's the only
I
way
like
to
it. I
find out.
love it. It's rewarding.
I'm glad you like it. I can see myself liking training. The traveling part would be a little tough for me
Yeah.
personally, but maybe I'll get it over someday and I'll change my mind. We'll see. You know, if the opportunity arises for me, you would never know. I mean, that's quite an opportunity too. So you got an opportunity and you took it. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, if you had passed it up, you'd be going, man, what if I did that? You know,
What if you
and that's
didn't do
Exactly.
that? Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I
Um,
might not get an offer to, train for a company again like that. And I already loved KECO. I'd
oh yeah.
been working with Chris and Danny for a while. I knew the company. I loved the company, and it
No,
just kind of came out of left field, honestly.
that's a good spot you're in. And speaking of training and stuff, how many places are you guys training outside the U.S. now?
I
Are we
mean,
arranging that kind of stuff, or what is that looking like?
yeah, we have we have trainings in Canada, which Scott and Danny are probably on a plane right now to Canada to handle two of them right now. Um, we have trainings in Australia, which we have a KECO Australia and a trainer out there. And then our KECO UK, they do trainings, on-site trainings there as well. So throughout there, I mean, obviously we want to go worldwide at some
so.
point.
So I had Kiko India like a whole bunch of the Smash Masters videos yesterday.
Mhm.
So are they
Mhm.
doing training? Do you know?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're just trying to get into different markets. Is
Okay.
really what all that is. So there's a we have a distributor out in Switzerland as well. There's distributors in other countries, but
Okay.
KECO UK and KECO Australia are part of like KECO US is the mother. Those are like the two babies from it.
Yeah. But you guys are expanding possibly into India. I mean, because I've seen that same thing. So that's something that Krishna could probably look forward to and keep up with that, and hopefully
Yeah,
get
I
those
mean,
guys trained down there.
it'd be
Um,
really cool
Yep.
because
I mean, it'll happen eventually, but I would also like to say that at the moment, I mean, you have the option to head over to gprmasterclass.com and take some online training. And even if you do that, and then the Kiko training comes through, take the Kiko training too, because I did the GPR Masterclass and I've done
I
Kiko
also did
training.
it.
You can pick up things from all of the trainings. Training's worth more than a paycheck.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's where I'd suggest going there for now, and then when Kiko gets something set up in India, get her done. You know.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
So,
definitely keeping up with new techniques is the key in our industry.
oh
It's
yeah, yeah.
forever changing. Cars change so fast, especially just the last 15 years being in the trade. It's like, okay, it went from here to way
Oh,
up here up
it's
the stream.
changed drastically.
yeah.
So getting into the Kiko training just a little bit, like you're like diving deep, like you said earlier, and you got the most help. That's kind of similar to how Kiko day one is. I mean, we get to learn tabs and different assortments of that. We get to run down how to get glues to get the best adhesion, and we go over that, and then we go outside, and we just pretty much go head first into knocking down dents, right? I mean, learning how
Yeah,
to get metal flowing right out of the gate.
well, knocking down high spots. You start by creating some high spots on flat areas, and then you learn how
High
to knock
spot. What did I
down.
say? Dense, high spot.
Yeah,
is what I
dense.
meant.
But
That's what I
it's
meant.
I know what you meant. I just wanted to
Yeah.
clarify. And then
Yeah.
really that I felt was really smart because
Mm-hmm.
it's knocking down is the real art of this skill.
Yep.
I mean, getting your glue to stick is important, but if you can't knock down the highs, it's useless. So starting with the knocking down was absolutely a great way to go. I mean, I'd love to share my video here on day one.
Yeah, let's get some of this up. Let everybody see what we're talking about.
There we go.
Was GPR Plus training.
Can you hear that?
Really cool group of
Yep.
guys that came to do this with me. Most of us content creators. So day one, Danny started out with some theory, and I believe me, I learned things through this theory class, even after all my experience. When you take this course, this is where you'll learn the process that you should follow to get effective glue pulls every time. Then we headed out into the training center and created some high spots to practice knockdown. Makes sense to learn this first, because if you can't knock down what you're pushing up or pulling up, how are you going to fix it down?
Do the tab, 1, 2, 3. Pop them all up. Come in and knock them down. Okay, a little bit wet. Okay, we're gonna get a little high.
Yep, just use the robo lifter, some small circular KECO tabs, pop them up, create a high spot, and grab your KECO knockdown and knock them down. Get them
After
flat.
some instruction, we all chose a hood and got to work.
I mean, you nailed it right there at the end of that. Like, we need to knock down before we're going to pull up. If we start going after the center of the dent and we're not nailing it to get it the whole dent up high, we need to learn how to knock a high spot down first. And that was Danny and Kevin talking about it, like the order of how should we do day one, day two. Like after SEMA, we all just sat in that conference room all day, and there was like 1,000 post-it notes on the wall, like with everyone's, what do you think about this, that, and we'd all put our opinions everywhere. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, and watching Eldar and Ryan and Joel and Darren come through and soak up that information and really get into the forming, getting into the habits of seeing what you're doing. That was really cool, and that was day one.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you got to get right into it. I mean, it's you need reps. That's why we did so much, knock down so many dents, like learn the theory, and then we got to practice.
Yep. So we went from theory to learning how to move metal, knocking down highs, getting a feel for the knockdowns and hammers, and then straight into this type of stuff right here, and getting ready to do those big glue pulls. And I don't think I remember hearing anybody say, "Well, I can't get the glue to stick."
No,
That's
not
the
once.
Not
First thing
once
we
did
try
I
to
hear
tackle.
that.
Isn't that funny? Because that's the most thing. That's what I hear on social media the most. How do you get the glue to
How do
stick?
you get the glue to stick?
Want to go over day two?
I say that at the end of every training. I'm like, hey, did you guys notice we weren't fighting the glue?
Yeah.
Because we're just following the 60 process.
That's all
Yeah,
it takes.
This is day two. You see Danny getting happy with that hammer, right?
Making dents
Yeah.
for us.
Using glue, the light, and knockdowns. The goal here is to get it to a blockable level or a level for glaze. We're all learning about the
Look at that
placement of
stance,
the
boy.
light
That's
beam.
wild right there, isn't it?
Got that stanky leg.
Look how the light really
You ain't working unless you're, got your
shows
stance down.
exactly what it is.
We love it, Eldar.
Yeah.
Partially through the day, we all felt like we were ready to move on to push tools.
Which was a little early. Normally that's day 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually.
We can give people the right expectations.
Remember, guys, this is a body shop class, not a PDR class. But if you're a PDR tech, you could definitely benefit.
Doesn't matter how many times I say that, I still get people saying, "How was the PDR class?" And
More than a paycheck.
I mean, it's GPR, GPR plus class. We're just taking dent tools and
Honestly,
using
guys,
them
don't wait. Head
for
over
a
to
traditional style repair.
KecoTags.com. Check out the
Right,
training section.
right.
We're not expecting people to leave this and just go be PDR guys. You know, that takes a lot of reps
Hell yeah.
if that's
We
what
said
you're
that a
going for.
ton.
Yeah, I mean, if I spend enough time on a little dent, I can get it. But I mean, I'm no finisher.
Mm.
I'm the GPR trainer. I go to body shops. We do the big smashes. You know, getting into that skimmable level, and that's
Thanks,
so much
Alex.
fun for me. Like, I love doing that. I love big dents. I love when they don't believe in it, and then you just do something huge, and their just eyes light up like, oh
Speaking
man,
of big
we're doing
dents.
this.
This is one of the guys we're talking about. dude,
Hit
who
day
came
3
in.
here. PDR these dents.
Ryan.
Ryan's right.
Hold
on, pause this. Yeah, no, it. So the reason why I'd like to say, yes, we did get to the point where we were PDRing some dents, but if you can PDR them, I mean, you've already passed the point where you've got the skills to use it in the body shop, you know, and you're taking it that much further. So if you could do it, there's no reason not to do it at the class. You know, but yeah, that was pretty funny by day 3.
Yeah.
It was, and day one during lunch, you know, they I think the first day we spent an hour and a half just talking and hanging out. By day 2, I look around, Joel's nowhere to be found, and Ryan's almost right behind him. Like, dude, we're going back here to get on this den action.
Yep.
So I mean,
They were eating it up. They were loving it.
dude, Ryan learned so much. It was unbelievable.
Danny showed us how to take
Dude, and everyone did great. I mean, it's awesome to see people come into this and then what they're capable of doing by the end. And then they just got to go practice. You know, you got to go home and keep using it.
Yeah. No, it's very cool to watch people progress. I mean, Eldar had he really needed some help with reading the light, and both Danny and Nick helped him with reading the light, and he left a completely different technician, completely different.
I believe it. I believe he's been killing it. You know, he's gonna knock it out of the park this week.
And beyond.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
he just I'm excited to see what he does.
Eldar,
I love how excited Eldar is for bodywork, GPR,
yeah,
like any of it. He's so excited. Just
He is
like
the
big stars. I love
genuine
it.
thing. He really is
His
just
energy.
genuine.
and a hell of a technician too. And this right here
Oh, yeah.
only made him better. So,
Speaking of PDR training, I've got my previous PDR trainer texting me like crazy. Don't you know I'm live? He keeps swearing he's going to come into the podcast. Waits to text me till I'm live. David White.
yeah, we'll get him in here.
That was great. I've got a 4 video as well. While we're on it, we might as well.
Yeah, let's show it, and we'll show some of those new tools right quick. We got to.
New
Kick
KECO
out there.
tools,
Dude, that
to
was
show.
so much fun, was it not? Ripping on the new stuff. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty sweet. I mean, it's always fun to try new tools. I mean, me and Danny get to try new tools all the time. So I mean, it's fun for you guys to come in and get a chance to put your hands on them before they're on the market. You know.
Yeah.
Not only that, but we ended up in the release videos
Yeah.
for the products.
man.
We're in those
if you've seen it,
videos.
I'm sure you'll sew it. It's insane.
Oh, it's just very cool. I think my TikTok video of the quick stick has got 34,000 views so far. Like it's just
This
it's
one Ryan's
going nuts.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so wild just to see. Because
They
like if you
purposely had
thought
you
about
on
it
those.
10 years ago, if you told someone we're gonna have a vacuum pod on the ground with some glue and a chain, you'd be like, "What
No
are you
way.
talking about? That's never gonna work." And it
No
works so
way.
good.
That quick stick is the business. I mean,
I'm gonna order
I've
one
been
soon.
saying that since I used it, and nah, I'm gonna have one. That thing is, it really is. It's awesome.
And so was Ryan.
Dude, the day they brought it over, we finally got to see it. Hayden did his, monster kick on a quarter panel, and it was just one move, just bump, the whole thing just popped right back out.
That quick stick is honestly
All right.
everything that we've been looking for in a leverage puller that is fast and easy. Look at that.
Look how much the car's moving.
Tools falling off the car.
Tools falling off,
And the only reason the glue tab came off is because you guys put some slack into the chain and gave it a yank, and it gave it that shock. Otherwise, it would still be stuck on there.
the glue tab didn't come off, did it?
No, it did come off on that
Oh,
video.
Did it?
Yes.
Okay, and
yes.
that one. Okay, one of them it didn't come off when we were
Right.
doing that.
We
It was
weren't
just,
recording.
Just
Yeah.
the tab slipped off.
Right. No,
Well, I mean, keep in
this
mind,
was the
you're
tab.
not going to rock a car like this to repair
No,
it.
you're not. You're not
No.
going to use that like that. Ever.
But it's cool to see it.
But
This was an ultimate test to see, one, how strong that hinge tab was, because that's a hinge tab on that edge, and it pulled, that quarter was in that far to the door, and when you guys close the door after this video, right up against it, you fixed it, and yeah,
yeah,
That's
I mean,
just-
he pushed he pushed it in with the porta power. So
Yeah,
and
against
that
that
K-bar
beam.
is on the new level, dude. It is nuts.
I'm gonna
I
order
think
one
you guys
soon.
did this the morning before I got there.
Yeah,
'Cause I wasn't there for the first 2.5 days.
right. No, it was that was mind blowing, and the more
That
I
was-
watched that video, the more I'm like, I gotta order one of those. I gotta have it.
Oh
'Cause-
man,
Oh,
I've
that's
watched it
great.
a few times just because I'm like, man, just watching the car, the whole car.
that was so much fun. I mean, you're not gonna use it that way at the end of the day. You're gonna be reasonable with it, but just what you can do, and getting glue to stick. That was another thing. Like, well, let's put this on here and see if we can actually get it off. And
It was a test.
it was a test. It
was a
See
great
how
test.
crazy
It was a
this
test.
is. Yeah.
I just want to show one more video on it, and then we'll show the other new
Okay.
tool.
Okay.
This is the actual video, and I have no sound.
Yeah, our product drop
Oh, there.
video. It's cool to watch that bass suck down
It is.
once you put the
Yeah.
air to it.
So let's just reload this to get it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Get the.
And this right here is why I had to get Eldar to help, because I'm 200 pounds and I was like, nah, that's not moving.
From that angle, it's even.
It's even more rocky.
Yeah.
We're all just staring at it, going, "Oh my
He
god!"
said he might use it like that. I know I would. I ain't even gonna lie.
Move, dang
I
it.
put it on everything.
All right, so
Products,
here we go.
man, we are excited to. It's Chris White with KECO Body Repair Products. Man, we are excited to bring some other pre-order products
This
to you.
tower
One
is
right
awesome.
in front of me. The other I'll bring out in a minute, but we have two pre-order products coming out this Friday. One is what we're calling our K Tower. And it all starts with the base. When you see the base here, you can see that base is a bit larger, and that base size coupled with the type of gasket that we have on there is allowing us to get, by our testing, twice the pulling strength as any other tower on the market. Then, because of that strength, now we have the opportunity to do some things that are unique as well. One is the height. With this height, we can work up on a van. We could work up on the top of a bedside of maybe even like an F-250 sort of a size pickup. The other really, really cool thing is Chris White with KECO Body Repair Products. Man, we are
So
excited to
It's split up
bring
into
Three
multiple.
parts. Yeah.
Yep, it's split up. There's 3 parts.
with a ratchet. That's why we gave you the same M10 thread that is on the K-Beam and the K-Beam Junior here with a turnbuckle and 2 knobs to be able to dial in and make that finite adjustment at the end of your pull. The last things that we've added are some feet that are able to push off and hold against a tire, potentially hold against a fender to keep from a blowout. You could also move that foot up here to be able to hold off against a bedside. This K-Tower is something that we've been working on for a number of months. You'll be able to pre-order it this Friday. We're looking at delivery, somewhere in the 4 to 5 or 6 week range. But get those orders in this Friday. The last tool,
So the last tool was the quick stick, which we already went over. But I do want to say that tower is.
Oh man, that's just what I was going to say. That tower is amazing too. And what did we do? The first thing I said, let's tilt it all the way as far as it goes, and then just glue to it. Like,
You should have seen Daddy Danny's face. He's just like, yeah, let's do it. So we put it all the way over on a 45-degree angle and gave it some
one when you can have
major pulls. Why not?
It was just a time limit on the reel. Those were reels originally.
Yeah.
That's why there's 3 parts.
1 minute apiece.
Meta makes things
I
tough.
think it's 60. Yeah.
Meta makes things tough.
But
that went out on Instagram.
We hooked that thing up and all the way, and we was wrenching on that thing, and it didn't move. And everybody was like, "Yeah, let's put the stick up here. Let's keep it from moving." I want to see if it actually.
We dragged the
twists
car
on the
across the
ground.
floor.
Pop it off.
Yeah,
we
I
dragged
wanted
the
to
car
see it.
across the floor with that thing, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right. We had the car on blocks so that we wouldn't move the suspension. We were trying to get an effective.
It wasn't on blocks. It was just blocks that were resting under it for when we actually did get pressure. It sat
right
on
Me and Ryan jacked the car up and set it down on the block.
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because when it fell off the blocks, it went boom. And then we kept pulling it across the floor. Tires dragging on the concrete.
Okay.
We kept pulling it off the floor.
I didn't see you guys do that. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it was running off a pancake compressor. Like, imagine it in the shop air.
It was just a little 30-gallon, 20-gallon. I don't even know if it's 30.
No, it was like a 28 or something. One of those sideways Craftsman.
Just a Craftsman. Yeah.
Which is cool because I have a 33 Craftsman in my garage, so I know it'll work.
You're like, it'll work.
It's been tested. It's good.
Imagine if it was on shop air, like 150 psi or whatever.
50,
shop has on it.
Yeah, that would be
nuts.
Be a little bit more.
That would be something.
Danny already had his foot on it, just pressuring it down, and man, that thing's crazy.
Blown away.
We were trying to break it on day 4. On that ratchet, just trying to break it.
Right.
Yeah, to the point where we can't really get it to go anymore. Finally getting it to pop.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty amazing, and I've used some pole towers, a number of them. I think 3 or 4 different brands, and none of them did that kind of stuff. Well,
between that, the swivel feature, and then most of them, they're a strap or a ratchet.
Ryan's gonna yank frame reels off. I want to see that video, Ryan.
Yeah.
I want to see that one. Yep.
I've used the Pro Spot vacuum tower, and the Pro Spot is a good tower, but that one right there is just in a whole new league.
Yeah.
I mean, it really.
Well, I mean, I looked at it like it's kind of like an arms race as always. One person makes something cool, and it's like, let's all make one real quick.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, everything that we, because we used it a lot. So it was like, okay, how can we improve this, make it better, make it pull harder? The infinite adjustment, the tower, that was the big thing. Because I would be working on something, you got to break it loose just to pull an inch this way.
Yeah, move it just an inch
next to it. Yeah. So
where now you can just
being able to swivel that.
So much better.
And I love that. If you need to make double pulls, you can use a strap, wrap it around it, and make double pulls. I mean, and that arm, the crown holder or the leg stand, I mean, that's awesome. Just being able to push on that. If you got a giant crown, being able to push on that crown or even hold it straight off the tower. If you can keep that plate flat, that's where you get that maximum strength.
Yep.
That plate isn't flexing on the ground, it's just going to stay there.
Yeah, I like the crown holder feature, and the vacuum tower itself is not difficult to move and change around if you need to, but just to be able to reach down there, push the tower over where you need it right quick, especially if you got lines in your concrete or you're working in that's just a whole new situation. That's what Danny likes to call game changers. That's what that is.
Game changer.
Game
Yeah.
changer. Yeah, I
How many
think
times
everybody
you heard
likes
that?
that.
That's his thing.
Yeah,
Everybody
right.
likes
And
that
we even-
term, but he capitalizes on it for sure.
Oh yeah. He'll even be like, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
Game changer.
It's a game changer. Yeah.
You
No,
could have
but
put
it
that
really
on
is.
the tower.
No,
Honestly.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that I really respect KECO as a company. I mean, I see there's so many tool manufacturers out there now, and it seems they're popping out of the woodwork when it comes to either just PDR tools or PDR style tools for the body shop. But I don't see anybody else doing as much research and development as KECO. And it's putting better products in the hands of technicians rather than the Microsoft model of letting the crowd find the bugs and then fix them after, which leaves a bad taste in my mouth. If you got to send me a part to make something better, it's like, why didn't you just test it first? So I really respect that about KECO. I really do. And it's one of my favorite parts.
Things move so fast at KECO. I before I started here, would have never imagined how fast paced, everything is.
Right.
Just between training, like the tools, like we come out with tools throughout the entire year. It's just like, if we have if anyone has a thought on something and they make it real quick, or if someone comes to us and says we need something that can do this, we're right on it right away usually. And they'll get something ready and then it'll be like, test it. Tell me if you like it or not like it. I mean, you saw all the tools laying around in the offices and stuff that we've just been testing. Some of those are dead in the water. Some of them are maybe still getting worked on. But I mean, anything to make dent repair easier,
Yeah.
That's what
all we
it's-
focus
that's what
on is
we're
glue
after,
pull.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, I
glue
really
pull
like those
is
hammers that are
the
coming
future.
out. The
Yeah, the
KECO
hammers are going to be
hammers.
cool.
The hammers are nice.
And I will
Won't show
say,
you, but we might talk about it.
I will say that these new knockdowns from KECO, I mean, when I saw them in picture, and maybe you guys are thinking this when you're looking at it right now, there are these orange ones that you can find on Amazon that look somewhat similar. It's totally different. Those things are junk. This is awesome. And the set comes with two, and it comes with 4 tips of different sizes for different use. It's just an amazing. These are my go-tos now.
Those tips are the business. Every single one of them.
I feel like this is almost all I need. Almost. It's just so close to being almost. I mean, I'm a fan of using a VIP at the end for true PDR work, and that's part of the GPR Plus system. So it's something good.
Yeah, you get one.
But this is a great knockdown. And I mean, it hasn't been fully announced yet, but if you all follow the Smash Masters Facebook page, with probably tomorrow, within the next few days, I'm sorry, I don't know when I'm going to get it out, but we are going to have a giveaway.
Absolutely, we are. We are going to give
All this,
a KECO knockdown set away to somebody.
which is the 2 blue and everything you see right here in my hands. So if you're interested in this, make sure you follow the Smash Masters videos face page.
Face page.
That's a new
I love
one.
that. Love
It's
that.
that's like my book.
Yeah.
The face page.
Facebook. That's where it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be really, you don't have to pay anything to get it or anything. All you got to do is just like the post, share the post, tag 3 friends in the comments. It'll be that easy, and then you're entered. We've done one of these before.
Yeah, when we gave away some merch, I think, did we give one of these away?
Yep.
Yeah, we did. We gave some tumblers and stuff away, but we're going to do it again. Same style. And hopefully somebody will get to use those knockdowns.
Oh,
and,
somebody will.
Somebody's
gonna
going
win.
to.
Yeah.
And they'll see that we really ain't lying. Those are the business.
Yeah, they really
they're
are.
great. We actually made them out of Delrin at first and then switched to this Peak material. And I mean, if we didn't test it, it wouldn't have got changed,
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
No,
what
it's
it
a great
is.
knockdown. And It's a great knockdown. The materials, the tips, especially for GPR. I mean, we're roughing things out. It's kind of like why you guys went straight into knockdown. That applies to everything all the way into big metal work. We got to know how to move metal down as we're unlocking it, untrapping it, But yeah, guys, go like their page. Try to win these. I think, don't quote me, I think it's like $150 for that set.
Mhm.
Like they're not cheap. That peak material is expensive.
It's a good giveaway, guys.
Yeah,
It's even better than I thought it was.
giveaway.
Maybe I want to keep them. No, I'm kidding. We'll give it away.
I mean,
The Tyson of knockdowns.
I mean, they punch their own weight. I can guarantee you that.
That's great. That's great. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that pretty much wraps up the show. It was great to have you on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Really glad you come by and said hey to everybody, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially after the 5-day training, and tell everybody a little about that stuff.
And he's in the middle of training.
Yeah,
his life is training.
Life is training.
That's pretty much travel, train, come home. Maybe help Danny train a little bit. At the warehouse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Someone's got
to
to train
Danny train at all. Danny's a great trainer.
Somebody's got to be there to keep Danny straight, though, right?
Yeah, somebody's got to help him whenever he goes squirrel.
I mean, you've seen Hayden's foot.
Yeah.
Hayden will keep him in line.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
That guy's all over the place all the time. I mean, we're busy. It's crazy. It's great.
Yeah.
Eldar says thank you as well.
How much we do constantly. Yeah, you're welcome, Eldar. It was fun. It was great to hang out with Eldar, all you guys.
Yeah,
I've met Eldar and Stefan before, but the rest of you guys I'd never met in person. So it was fun to just kick back after the training for a little bit, hang out and bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun. That was really that. I have to say, everyone thinking about this training, it was a business trip, and I had more fun on this than any vacation I've ever been on. So
I had an amazing time out.
Yeah,
Really
it was a blast. So I mean, make sure if you're on the fence, you head over to KECOtabs.com and sign up for a training. They have 1, they have 2, they have 5-day training. I think they're working on a 3-day training. Just go and check it out and submit your name and get over there. It's 15 minutes from the airport. There's a hotel next door.
Accessible, everything.
Yep. And you get a discount at the hotel next door because we have a deal with them. You can just walk over. If you just take an Uber to the airport, to the hotel, you don't have to rent a car or nothing.
Darren says, do it.
Yeah.
Yep. He's and Darren's in that area, so he got super lucky to be in the area where KECO is. But
I think Darren loved it. I really do. I mean,
he did.
He had fun. He looked like he was having a lot of fun.
Big smile on his face through that beard the whole time.
And he was doing great.
Yep.
I mean, shoot, Danny hit his Jeep and had Darren push it out. I saw Danny pull his Jeep and I was like,
he can't take off.
My car has 1 million dents in it. You could have just used it. No, that's how committed he is. That's not the first time he's brought the Jeep in and put some dents in it.
That's great. I mean, I've kind of I learned from Daniel Kraus that he went to car shows and put dents in his own vehicles and took them out in front of people to get PDR work. I might be on that level right now. I'm thinking about doing it myself.
Works, man.
You know,
that's good marketing.
I got a Mini out there that some other PDR tech already messed up, so I know I could do better than that. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
What do you got?
I was gonna say you got to practice. You got to put into practice. So
yep.
if you guys can, be sure and always learn and keep the practicing going because it'll only make you better. So,
do the training, guys. Just do the training.
Do the training.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Mike.
Absolutely.
Yep,
thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
So. Do we know what's going on next week?
Yeah, we've got a pretty cool guest coming on next week.
We've got a really cool
about that.
We got a really cool guest.
That's gonna be fun.
So make sure you head over here. He's a big creator, makes awesome videos. He makes a lot of tools. Was a collision tech. I think he was in a machine shop before that, and then he's doing PDR now. He trains people on PDR. He makes awesome videos and content.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
miss next week.
yeah, don't miss next week, and you guys are gonna love it. I would tell you who it is, but you're gonna have to come back and find out.
I love that. Sorry, guys. But yeah, until next time, guys.
The
Bye.